Hello everyone, my name is Tenise Marie. I am a singer-songwriter living in Nelson, British Columbia, Canada, on the traditional and unceded territories of the Sinixt Nation, who remain as the indigenous peoples of this land since time immemorial. It is an honor to be invited to participate in Genocide Awareness Week and to be included in Assyrian representation in collaboration with SAFO Center. One of the reasons I think representation is so important is because ethnic erasure is actually an outcome of genocide. It is also a tool that makes ongoing genocide possible. I believe that in order to prevent current or future genocides, education and awareness are the weapons we must fight with. I think it's also important to note that even after a genocide ends, the effects can still be felt for a long time. When people are taught that it isn't safe to express their language, their religion, or their cultural practices, people can begin to internalize shame associated with their ethnicity or culture, simply because we as people will always do what we have to do to survive. Intergenerational trauma as a result of genocide is something that is experienced in one way or another by all Assyrian families, as well as by any culture that has experienced genocide. I myself have mixed European and Assyrian heritage, and I would like to share some of my story and explain to you how it is that my Assyrian heritage has become such an important part of my life. I grew up in a remote, rural community called Argenta, British Columbia. Argenta has a road sign defining it as unincorporated, meaning there are no stores. And the population is about 100 maybe? It's hard to say. The community of Argenta was largely founded by Quaker settlers. And although I wasn't always aware of it earlier in my life, influences of Quaker culture, including pacifism, have shaped my world perspective. The sign on the meeting house reads, "All are welcome." I have always been a humanitarian at heart. I believe in collective liberation. I believe that none of us are truly free until everyone is free. I was raised by my mother, who also had roots in this community. Along with her brother, she was adopted as a young child and grew up in the same house I eventually grew up in. Growing up in a rural setting with people of predominantly British and Northern European heritage, my mother and her brother were affectionately regarded as exotic and foreign. Although it was the age of closed adoptions, their adoption was obvious, as they were so clearly distinct from their parents of English heritage. Although there were no conversations about it, my grandfather left the adoption papers in a drawer that was unlocked. My mother always had a curious spirit. She always desired to know where she came from. It was my mother who taught me the importance of identity. As long as I can remember, people have asked me about my ethnicity. When you have mixed heritage, this question always has a lengthy answer. Imagine people's blank expressions when I tell them my father's heritage is British. But when I told them my maternal grandmother was Assyrian, that always seemed to satisfy their curiosity. "Oh, Syrian?" No, I always had to make the distinction. From a young age, I would try to memorize the Assyrian Wikipedia page. But for every time I had to recite the scripted definition of Assyrian, I still did not have a deep understanding of what it meant to be Assyrian. I simply did not have the lived experience. And it's almost as if I had come to identify with the experience of being unknown, with being misunderstood, and with being unidentifiable. Answering the ethnicity question with Assyrian comes with its own inherent set of challenges and, if I may say so, responsibilities. Firstly, very few people I have encountered in Western Canada even know who Assyrians are. Most people do think I'm saying Syrian. Most people don't realize the country Syria's name was derived from Assyria. Some have heard of or studied the ancient Assyrian Empire, but are not aware that Assyrians are still living and identifying as Assyrians today. So as I kept answering these questions, I was forced to do some basic homework in order to answer the other questions which ultimately resulted from the Assyrian discussion. It was a few years ago that I started asking more and more questions about my Assyrian heritage. And my mother and the internet could only answer some of them. So, who are Assyrians? Geographically, Assyrians are a transnational population indigenous to what is now Iraq, Iran, Syria, and Turkey. The majority of Assyrians have migrated to other regions of the world, including Europe, Australia, and North America. This reality is referred to as diaspora, the dispersion or spread of a people from their original homeland. This is largely the result of genocide and of ongoing persecution and discrimination. There are a few Assyrian genocides that have taken place in recent history. The first being in World War I. Assyrians call this genocide soulful. The Ottoman Empire targeted all Christian minorities in the region. The Assyrian genocide was parallel to the Armenian genocide, which is more widely known about in the West. How did this affect my family? My great-grandfather, Zaya Mamo, was a child during World War I. He was from the Nochia tribe in Hakkari, part of the Assyrian homeland, what is now known as southeastern Turkey. During Sefo, he escaped with his life only because his mother dressed him as a girl, when it was common to kill all the men and the boys in the village. In my family's experience, Sefo was a trauma that changed their trajectory completely. My grandmother was raised in Baghdad, Iraq. Growing up without a mother, with her father, a genocide survivor, life as a second-class citizen, as an Assyrian in Baghdad, was difficult, and she fled to Canada at her first opportunity. She was about 17 years old. My mother was born in Canada. Eventually, after leaving home, it was in her 20s that she began to do some serious digging into her adoption. This was the 1980s. It was before Google, before 23andMe. She wrote to Vital Statistics for a year before getting the answers she needed to find her biological family. She eventually made contact with another sibling. Her sister Jana wrote her a long letter explaining the details of our Assyrian heritage. In the spring of 2022, I started making connections with Assyrians through email and social media, and later that year, I had the opportunity of being invited by the Assyrian Arts Institute to audition for their Assyrian Women Choir. I joined the choir and traveled to California to perform Christmas concerts in San Jose. This was December 2022, and this was to be my first time ever performing in the Assyrian language. I had never been to this part of California before. In preparation for my trip, I connected with my mother's first cousins, and I discovered that my grandmother's 2 younger sisters were still living in Modesto, California. So of course, I had to make plans to go meet them after my commitments with the choir were completed. They were incredibly welcoming, and building relationships with my Assyrian family in the last few years has been a very healing process for me. I'm going to share with you a song called Buta, recorded by Assyrian singer Sonia Dishu. The lyrics were written by Adishu Moshe to a pre-existing melody. The melody was made popular by Lorena McKennett, who is credited with writing the instrumental version Tango to Evora. Buta describes the loneliness of feeling like a foreigner in a new country. It is poignant to the Assyrian experience as a nation which is struggling to survive in the diaspora communities in which we have been scattered across the world. When I sing it, I cannot help but think of my maternal grandmother, Esther Mamo, who may have been the first Assyrian to ever live in Vancouver, Canada, in the 1940s. In February of 2023, I was fortunate to receive a research and creation grant from the Canada Council for the Arts for non-academic, artistic, and experiential research. My project included studying Assyrian music with my Assyrian ethnomusicology consultant, Nadia Joan, traveling to the Assyrian homeland in northern Iraq, and writing songs about my experience with support from my Assyrian songwriting mentor, Stella Rezgo. From Nadia, I learned valuable context for the music that was becoming more familiar and more precious to me every day. She was so generous in sharing resources and insights from her research. She helped me understand the power of music as a means of cultural survival and continuation. It was this context that made my trip to Assyria so incredibly meaningful. The next song was made popular by David Isha. He is credited with the songwriting alongside Goriel Shimun. This is a patriotic Assyrian song. It speaks of many precious Assyrian symbols, including the Assyrian flag, as well as ancient Assyrian kings and queens. David Isha was actually arrested by the Iraqi government in the 1970s for recording and performing this song live, which caused this song to be even more widely loved and celebrated as an anthem of the Assyrian resistance. Ya Achoni means, "Oh my brother." Perhaps the most powerful lyric to me is the final line that is repeated. Atur ila e chaduti gu chai yen gumuti, which means Assyria is my happiness in my life and in my death. Ya achoni katuch Before my trip to sing with Assyrian women in California, for the purpose of introducing me to the Assyrian community, the Assyrian Arts Institute asked me to record a video for a spotlight piece. I was given a few songs to choose from in the Assyrian folk style, and after listening to many beautiful songs, I chose the one that grabbed me the most, both because of the melody and because of the English translation I was given. Aghalare was the first song I ever sang in the Assyrian language. I learned it from Eglantine Warda, who made the song popular, and she has told me that she is not aware of the original songwriter, so for now it remains in the Assyrian folk tradition. This is a song about Sappho, the Assyrian genocide committed by the Ottoman Empire. Assyrians were massacred and displaced from their villages in Hakkari and Urmia. They suffered countless attacks on their journey to reach safety. During months of walking towards refugee camps, hundreds of thousands died. Children and elderly were left along the way to perish because they could no longer be carried. Starvation and disease were rampant. Leaders and intellectuals were targeted first. Our Aghalare.
I wrote this next song for my research and creation project with the Canada Council for the Arts. It is a love letter addressed to Mother Assyria. It's an ode to the concept that our ancestors and the land that raised them continue to live in us. The first half of the song is in English, and the second half is a poetic translation of the English lyrics, completed by my project songwriting mentor, Stella Resco. Your mountains, they speak to me. Your rivers run deep and I'm in
This next song is called Ninue. I wrote Ninue about the moment of leaving Assyria. Ninue is the indigenous Assyrian name for what is now called Mosul, Iraq, and also the capital of the Assyrian Empire. Also, coincidentally, the place where my grandmother was born. The verses of this song are in English, and the choruses are in Assyrian. The chorus translation is a promise to return to Assyria. Ninue, God be with you. Ninue, my home. The land between two rivers, my life. The next song I'm going to play for you is one that I wrote while poring over my travel journal after I had returned to Canada. My life had been forever changed by this trip. There were so many themes to explore and discoveries for my brain to process. I had so many emotions, and I really just wanted to write a travel song that was based in fact and that could just objectively describe my experiences and describe the sounds and the sights that I experienced. So this is Argenta, and the word Argenta translates to Assyrian woman. On the festival stage, and flying the back roads to Al-Kush, through every checkpoint with ease, past the camp of Yazidi refugees. As I referenced in that song, I did have the amazing opportunity to see Asher Betsargis perform live at the Chab Nisan parade in New Hadra. Asher Betsargis is an Assyrian songwriter and musician whose unique songs have captured the hearts of so many Assyrians around the world. His contribution to Assyrian music has created a legacy that continues to inspire myself and many others. I am going to sing one of his beautiful songs, Mateni, because I think it perfectly captures the nostalgia of the Assyrian homeland and the beauty of Assyrian villages.
Zachtal abo Argenta, Share Zuya.